If you want to be a part of the conversation before it happens here on YouTube, click that link in the description to join the free Courtside Financial Discord.
What's going on, everyone? My name's Obi, and welcome back to the Courtside Financial Podcast, where we talk about business and technology. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that I know you guys will all be interested in, and that's going to be Chinese cars making their way into the US. So this is going to be a pretty interesting episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell icon, leave a comment down below. Your engagement really does go a long way in helping out the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So everyone, it's time that we lift the veil. Did you know that Chinese cars are already in the US and they may have made a silent entry? In the third quarter of this year, BYD's electric car sales rivaled that of Tesla, but here's the catch. None of them hit the US market. We'll dive into that later, but first let's talk numbers. So why aren't these affordable Chinese cars lining up on your street? Well, it's pretty simple. The answer is cost. Thanks to Chinese government support, low labor cost, and speedy tech evolution, Chinese electric vehicles are doing way better than any other electric vehicles from a cost perspective. JATO Dynamics reports that the cost of what you'd see on a Chinese electric vehicle is about half the cost of what you see in the US and European markets. But the numbers don't lie, everyone. The Chinese electric vehicle market is booming, and that's no secret. China is outselling the West by a landslide when it comes to electric vehicles. It's simply because there's lower prices and a higher proportion of electric vehicle sales in China than there are in the US market. It seems like the West is playing catch up and the Chinese electric vehicle market is sprinting ahead in the EV race. Now let's talk about China's global ambitions. Chinese electric vehicles are cruising into the European markets at a rate that's raising eyebrows. China has a whopping 8.4% market share in European markets already for electric vehicles. So it's clear to see that the Chinese brands are making waves all over the world. However, there are storm clouds on the horizon in the form of European Commission investigation. But, and there's always a but, the US market is no joyride for Chinese electric vehicles, as we know. There's roadblocks such as high tariffs, not a lot of dealer networks, and the lack of Chinese brand recognition. The US has thrown up walls to keep these Chinese companies out, but will these walls stand tall forever? Well, what's next, you ask? Well, some of these Chinese automakers are looking to expand into the south, looking at places like Mexico to avoid some of these pesky tariffs for the time being. And in a surprising twist, joint ventures like we're seeing with the Stellantis brand might be the gateway to entry for a lot of these companies. Hold on to your seats, folks, because Chinese companies have already invaded the US market if you don't know already. Let's take a look at the Polestar brand, for example. Polestar is a Swedish brand under Chinese ownership. It's churning cars from Chinese factories and exporting them into the US. Even more, Polestar's plans to open up more US locations and start manufacturing in the US could give a company like Tesla a run for its money. These are all interesting things to consider, especially with someone like me being a NIO investor. But that's it for today's episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think NIO will ever make its way into the US? Leave a comment down below. Do you think Chinese brands will start to infiltrate every market globally? I know NIO's an ambitious company, and the plan's always been for global expansion, not just to a couple places, a couple regions. The US is included in that. So leave a comment down below. We'll see you in tomorrow's episode. But that's been it for this episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. Thank you for watching. We're 101 episodes strong.